In the introduction of the short story, The Yellow Wallpaper, it's the late 1800s, and readers meet an unnamed narrator through her journal. She has recently given birth, and doctors have diagnosed her with a nervous condition and prescribed a rest cure. So she's isolated on a country estate where she and her physician husband, John, are living for the summer. This rest doesn't simply mean taking it easy, but involves the near total elimination of all stimuli, including interacting with people, reading, writing, and even seeing her baby. 2 other women have come to help with childcare and domestic tasks. Writing in secret, the narrator tells the story of her confinement in an upper room of the house, a former nursery that has barred windows. In the rising action of the story, the narrator explains that the room has tattered yellow wallpaper with an intricate pattern that the narrator finds irritating. Weeks pass, and the narrator finds that her anxiety and depression have increased, and even the smallest tasks have become overwhelming. She asks John if they can leave the house, but he doesn't think it's practical or reasonable to give in to this fancy. The narrator continues to obsess about the wallpaper, finding it both appalling and mesmerizing. She spends hours each day looking at it, tracking it with her eyes and trying to follow the pattern to its stopping point. As time passes, she becomes more and more paranoid about the color and the smell, and increasingly fascinated by the pattern of the wallpaper. She becomes convinced that there's a woman trapped behind the pattern trying to get out. Apparently hallucinating, the narrator feels better and more energetic as she becomes more interested in the woman behind the wallpaper. Sometimes she sees many women, all creeping about behind the pattern. As the summer draws to a close, the narrator begins to feel that she must help the women escape before she leaves the house. At first, she peels the paper a little bit at a time. But in the climax of the story, she locks herself in the room and begins to tear away massive swaths of the paper. In the falling action of the story, she completes this task and begins to identify herself as the woman in the wallpaper, creeping along the floor around the room, following the streak on the wallpaper. And when John finds her in this state, he faints in her path. In the resolution, the narrator keeps right on crawling and creeping along the wall.